All right, NTB, man, which one is better, 30 days in jail or 3 years probation? So, I had a situation when I first started practicing law really early on in my career, which kind of clarified this question. And it was pretty shocking to me. I had a client, he was a young guy, late teens, and he got caught with some drugs, small amount though. First offender, never been in trouble before. Street guy, but not hardcore. But he was in those streets, and so he hired me to represent him on the case. And early on in my legal career, I always wanted to make sure that I try at all costs to keep my clients out of incarceration. That was the goal. Out of incarceration. Primarily, we want to get the charges dropped. If I can't charges drop, I want to keep them out of incarceration. So some type of alternative to incarceration situation. That's where I fight my cases. Okay, so I met this young man and I'm fighting the case. The district attorney wants jail time. I'm fighting the case. I'm calling the DA, talking to the DA, meet with the DA, letting them know this guy's a good kid, never been in trouble before. Charges are weak, bolstered charges, police overreacted. Also, there was some issues of Fourth Amendment violations. So I'm fighting the case. And finally, after a few back and forth to court, hard-fought discussions with the district attorney, I moved the district attorney to say, okay, listen, we'll offer your client, listen, he can have the option. We'll give him 30 days in jail, or we'll offer him 3 years probation. But he must stay out of trouble for those 3 years, all right? And so I said, okay, let me share that with him and see what he says. So I go back to the young man and I say to him, listen, they put an offer on the table for no jail time. Finally, and I'm, in my mind, I'm relieved because, I don't want to put my client's business all on the streets, but he wasn't going to win that trial. It wasn't going to be a trial where he was going to win. Just leave it like that. So I got him no jail time offer. Yes. So I say, listen, let me talk to you. So I pull him to the side. I say, listen, the prosecutor finally came around. They talking about 30 days in jail or 3 years probation. So I got the probation for you. The judge, of course, has to approve it. Let me know what you want to do. And in my mind, because I can't force him to take it. He has the option. My client always has the option. So I'm like, yes, finally, a young man gonna stay out of jail, blah, blah, blah. So he looks at me, this weird look on his face. He said, I'll take it. I said, okay. He said, when will I start the 30 days? My head is spinning. I'm like, what? What do you mean when you start the 30 days? I said they offer you 30 days in jail or probation. He said, Counselor, I'm going to jail. I can't do probation. I said, what do you mean you can't do probation? He said, I smoke weed. I said, oh my God. Are you serious? You want to go to jail rather than take 3 years probation and just stay out of trouble? And that was a realization that came hard and fast for me. That was my learning experience, First time dealing with a case like this on the ground and seeing it in real time, in real life. But it broadened my horizon, and that's how I grew. I've grown in so many different ways, practicing law, but that was a big eye-opener to me. It came to the realization that this young man, he didn't believe he could stay out of trouble because, as you know, with probation, you have to, have a curfew. stay out of trouble, no contact with the law, no dealing with other inmates or formerly incarcerated or felons. And then the big one that he, in his mind, since he could never fulfill, was that he couldn't stay off that marijuana. He had to smoke it. And he knew in his mind that he was going to get caught dirty with a dirty urine test. So he said he would take the 30 days. All right, pause. I was educated in that sense, but now I have to educate this young man, 19 years old, with no contact with the system, that's not necessarily a good move going into jail. Why? See, what a lot of people don't know about jail, and that's why, I said, let me do this video to educate folks, jail versus probation. Like, a lot of people think you're going to go into the jail, you're going to do your little 30 days, and then boom, you're going to be right back out in the streets. That's not how it always goes. I'm telling you, I've seen it. I've been in those jails. I've been in that system for many, many years. I've seen it. I heard the stories. I saw the scars. A guy or a girl can get locked up, do 30 days, and some of them might slide through. They'll do a clean 30 days, no issues, no beefs, no drama, nothing. But that's not always the case. You rolling the dice, because if you get the luck of the draw and they put you in a bad housing area, like for instance, you come in there and they put you in a housing area and it's all the local gang, like one side of the gang, particularly on the island, on Rikers Island, I'm in New York. Well, if you end up in one of those sides, you got a problem from day one. You got a problem from day one. From the time you walk through the door, they're asking you, what's your set? And you like, no, you stuttering. You got problems. And even if they don't put you in a house that's dominated by the gangs, they can put you in a house when someone just doesn't like you. And this for the ladies too. You get put in a cell with a woman who's not fond of you, or maybe she is fond of you. Day one, you have a problem. You got to deal with this for 30 days. And quite often, a lot of people don't know it's about the jails. Quite often, they put the guys and the girls who are doing 30 days right along with the folks who are doing or looking at potential life sentences. So your cellmate might be going back and forth to jail, who's been in jail most of their life, and this is their third offense. They looking at 25, 30 years. And here you come with your little 30 days, think you doing something. They know all the tricks of the trade. And some of them, don't even talk about the mental illness that's in there. People who stab you up in your sleep. Talking about they heard you, talking about killing them, and you were sleeping, and they hearing voices. Listen, I'm going to wrap this up because I can go on and on. I tell you some stories, man. 30 days in jail, you playing with your life. And if someone comes at you, I'll say this, if someone comes at you and you have to really, really hurt them, your 30 days just went to 30 years. If you can't prove self-defense, you got a murder charge. Jail versus probation. That's something you got to think about. All right, NTB, man. 1.